Hello, hello, ladies. Welcome to day 7 of our class. Oh my gosh, 7 days, ladies. It has been a full week of you showing up, of us being together, going through the process together. Let's make sure I'm in this right group. Let's make sure I'm live. Let's make sure technology is on our side today. And then we'll get started. Come in and say hello, post a comment so I can make sure that we're here. And yes, I am. I am live. Come on in, ladies. Today's class is going to be packed. You have submitted a lot of questions. So I want to get started right away so that I can make sure to get through all of your questions. I'm going to go through them in the order that I received them. So they might not make any consecutive sense. Like there's no order to them, to the subjects. I'm literally going to come in and say and answer them in the order that I received them, whether that was email, Facebook Messenger, how else did I get them? Yeah, email and Facebook, and the ones that you posted here on the group, all right? If for any reason I've missed somebody's question, so if you sent me a question and I missed it, post it here so that I can answer it for you. Let me know, and then we can definitely get everybody's questions in today. All right, let's get started because there are a lot of questions. So the first thing I want to start off with, because this question was asked a few times, this is the only thing I'm going to do out of order, is the question about the different modules of the program. So I got asked this a lot. What are, Layla asked this, I forget who else asked it, but we'll start with Layla's question. She said, "Hi, Dana, can you brief us a little more about the different modules of the Hormone Reset program? You mentioned that there was a module 4 that included exercise. Thanks and looking forward." I was going to talk about this in all cases, but let me walk you through the entire Hormone Reset program so you have the full picture. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. So level 1 is 10 weeks. So we start June 6th, calculate 10 weeks from that. That's when level 1 ends. Each week of every 2 weeks, you're going to get one module. 4 modules in level 1 and 4 modules in level 2. Level 3 is a mastermind. There is no curriculum. I'll get to that. So level 1 is 10 weeks. The first week, you get module 1. Each module is divided into 2 sections. One section addresses your emotional health, and one section addresses your physical health. Every single module has 2 parts like that. So module 1, the emotional part of module 1, the emotional section, is cultivating a success mindset. Remember I talked to you about, and I told you about how we talk a lot about mindset. It's the first thing we do in module 1, is talking about mindset, how to learn to understand the kind of thoughts that you're already having and how it's in your power to change these thoughts so that you have a different result in your life. Module 1 right away. That's the emotional part. The physical education in module 1 is going deeper into understanding the root cause of your specific hormonal imbalance. We touched upon that a little bit in this class. In module 1, we go in a lot deeper so that you can really identify your symptoms and start to know how you're going to track them. Every module takes 2 weeks. So at the end of each module, I give you a short list of homework. It's not like you're going to be like doing hours and hours of homework. You're going to learn how to journal in module 1 also. And at the end of each module, I'll give you a journal prompt. Something I want you to write about, something I want you to think about, obviously related to the module and what you're learning. Every single day in the Facebook group, you're going to have a daily journal prompt. So every single day, first thing in the morning at 6 a.m., I'm going to post a journal prompt for you to think about, write about. I also teach you how to journal, so you have a sort of a system to journal on, plus the daily journal prompt that I give you. So that's module 1. 2 weeks later, you get module 2. Module 2 is a lot of fun because module 2 is decluttering and time management. That's actually the emotional part. We literally learn how to declutter your physical space and create energy that's conducive to you living your best life. We know that when there's trapped energy in your home, whether from clutter, whether from things being stored away from too long, whether from you hanging on to old things that you don't really need, that's trapped energy, and that's missed opportunities, because all of these, we create voids for opportunities to show up in your life. And then the physical part of module 2 is understanding and tracking your menstrual cycle as well as skincare. So you've addressed the root causes of your hormonal imbalance in module 1. Module 2, you're going to learn about the different phases of your menstrual cycle. Even if you don't have a period yet, there's still a cycle. And you're going to get a tracker where you start to keep track of every single symptom every single day so that you can see at the beginning where the symptoms peak, what day of your cycle you have symptoms, what day they peak, what day you don't have them, so that as we go through the program, and once we get to the nutrition part, you can start to see the difference, because nobody's going to ever remember. You're never going to remember that on day 13 of my cycle is the day that I am the most tired, or the day that I get really bad cramps, or the day that my face breaks out. So we keep really, really close track of it so that you can start to see the effects of nutrition once we put the nutrition piece in. Module 3 is when we start the liver cleanse. So the physical part of module 3 is the liver cleanse. And then the emotional pieces, I give you a lot of strategies for motivation. And we talk about ways to keep your motivation going during the cleanse. And then module 4, which is the last module for level 1, is we talk about balancing your blood sugar. So once you move out of the liver cleanse, how do you eat? Because some of you are asking me, like, so are you going to show us how to eat, like how to reincorporate foods and how to keep eating in a system after the cleanse? Yes. So we do that in module 4, and I show you how to do that in a way that continues to keep your blood sugar levels balanced. And then we also introduce exercise. I don't introduce exercise before that because you need to get your body up to a level where it's energetic enough to work out. So many of us push ourselves to work out and feel bad when we can't work out because we're simply too tired. Like, our body can't keep up. Again, it's one of those things, like you're a high achiever in your head. You want to be able to go to the gym 6 days a week or work out 6 days a week. But if your body's literally exhausted, how can it do that? So we build up your energy levels first, rebuild the body with the cleanse and the eating, and bring in the exercise in module 4. That's level 1. Level 2 then is another 10 weeks, and it kicks off right after we finish level 1. Then the week right after that, we start level 2. Module 5 in level 2 is about stress management. So we talk about specifically cortisol, how cortisol affects the body. You really understand how adrenal health works. And that's also where we get into supplements. I give you the right list of supplements for women to take, because most women are just sort of piecing together advice from here and there. Let me take a little bit of omega. Let me take a little bit of vitamin D. Let me take some primrose oil. Just sort of, right, here's what a whole bunch of people are saying I should be taking. Let me take these. But there's a specific set of supplements that women should be taking. And there's a few specific brands. So this is really key. Not everything out there is good for you. 99.9% of the supplements in the market, whether in Egypt or abroad, in all of the drugstores and all the pharmacies, are synthetic, either synthetically derived, or they're full of additives and fillers that you don't need. Like, you don't, in your magnesium supplement, there should just be magnesium. You shouldn't have starches, fillers, magnesium stearate, soy, anything like that. It should just be magnesium. So we talk about that. We talk about how to find the right supplements. I give you different essential oil blends. So this is also a fun module. I give you essential oil blends that you make at home. Super simple, for managing hot flashes and night sweats, for managing your cravings, for boosting your energy. So we bring in, because these are supplements, they are supplemental to the food foundation. We bring in those things that take your health to the next level. Then module 6, we do another liver cleanse, so an advanced liver cleanse. So it's a step up from the liver cleanse that we did in level 1. Level 2's liver cleanse is a few notches up so that it can take your health to another level. And then module 7, we talk about relationships, boosting libido, get some more support tools for the cleanse. And then module 8 is our final module, and it's our celebration module. And that's the end of level 1 and level 2. Level 3 is a mastermind. So there's no curriculum. There are no modules. You still have access to all the modules that you've had before, but we don't follow a set curriculum. You're not following a curriculum. Level 3 is 6 months. Level 3 is the version of you that you can't quite imagine just yet because you're bogged down by all your physical symptoms. That version of you, that's the one who functions at level 3 mastermind. So you can't go from level 1 to the mastermind. You have to do level 1, level 2, and then get to the mastermind, and usually by invitation by me, because the mastermind is a completely different space where we focus on elevating your way of thinking, elevating your level of consciousness. We take your life, like we hardly even talk about nutrition in level 3. It is about completely taking the new version of you that you might not know how to deal with, and how you're going to then, that high achieving version of you, how you're going to have her implement life. All right. So those are the 3 levels. Anybody have a question about those before I move on to the rest of the questions? And we can say a quick hello in the meantime. Hi, Nadia. Hi, Mona. Hi, Alia. Hi, Noha. Wow, very interesting. It is very interesting. Level, I don't know what you're referring to, but they're all very interesting. They take you through a slow, gradual process of self-development, of evolving, of self-actualization, of learning about yourself, and continuing to take yourself to the next level. So it never really stops. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions. Let me move on to the rest of the questions. So the next question is from Add Some Art. Sayyida, is that you? I forgot who is that. Or Cookie, whichever one of you is happening to be watching. She wants to know what's the difference between the hormone reset program and the 21-day hormone reset detox. So you've just heard me talk about the hormone reset. 10 weeks, 6 months. The 21-day detox is 21 days. So it's super short. This is the simplified, like the most simplified, shortest time frame, like the smallest container that I could come up with to teach you how to eat to reverse your symptoms. It is basically a nutrition plan. So you get all the meal plans, the shopping, the recipe, the day by day, what you should eat. We also have a closed Facebook group. I post on the group every single day. There's a lot of communication with me, though we don't do any of that other stuff in the hormone reset. So there's none of the self-development, there's none of the self-awareness, there's none of the mindset work, there's none of the emotional work, there isn't the exercise, no stress management, there's none of that. It's just 21-day liver cleanse. That's all. That's the main difference. All right. Ishraq has a question. Is it okay to drink black and green tea without sugar in the detox, or no, as they have caffeine? No. And during the detox, there is no caffeine. So anything that has caffeine, coffee, black tea, green tea, matcha has caffeine. What else has caffeine? Anything that's got caffeine is out. Her second question is, what about Greek yogurt? Is it bad or good? Greek yogurt is dairy. And all dairy is inflammatory. All dairy, especially for women, can affect hormones. And all dairy, especially for women, it carries a risk of increasing your risk of breast cancer, because breast cancer is a hormonal cancer. It's mistakenly believed that Greek yogurt is good for you because it's got, because it's fermented, it's got the probiotics, etc., which it does. But on the flip side of that, it's still dairy. So there is no form of dairy that is good for us, or that we even need. Humans are the only mammals that continue to drink the milk or any milk products of another animal after they're weaned from their mother. We don't need it. We need calcium, and I show you how to get calcium from other sources. You don't need the dairy. Her third question, whole oats and whole wheat, gluten-free flour or bad or good? Anything from wheat is inflammatory. It doesn't matter if it's whole wheat, white wheat, anything from wheat is inflammatory, and it's out. Oats are a little bit better, but you have to be very careful with oats, because oats are many times processed in facilities where they process wheat products. So there is cross-contamination of gluten. So it's not that they're good or bad. Oats are that category of food like rice, beans, legumes, where they're sort of neither here or there. They don't heal you, but they don't necessarily make you sick either. They're just they do nothing. So they're one of those foods where I teach you again what is the right ratio for you. Fourth question, is it okay to use a face wash with propylene glycol as the last ingredient in the list? Well, if it's the last ingredient in the list, that means it's the least quantity. I would like to see what else is in this face wash, Ishraq. So you can share just take a little shot of the ingredients list, and then I can tell you, looking at it overall, if it is or if it isn't. And her last question is, does the detox treat Epstein-Barr virus? Yes. So Epstein-Barr virus doesn't have a medicinal treatment. It's not something that even when you're diagnosed or even when your doctor says, oh yeah, you've got it, there's no pill for it. There's no medicine that he's going to give you and say, this is the cure. Epstein-Barr virus is a virus, like all viruses, including COVID, that you either starve to kill it off or you feed and give it strength. So yes, the detox that we do starves Epstein-Barr virus so that it loses strength in your body. And when it loses strength, your symptoms decrease. Add some art, more questions. Where do grains fit in, ones that are not wheat? So that's what I just said. So the lentils, the rice, the beans, the legumes, they are non-healing foods, but they're not necessarily inflammatory foods either. They can be for some people, and they can raise blood sugar levels for some people. This is where you'd have to experiment, much in the same way that you're going to experiment with animal protein. There's no way for me to know right now. You'd have to get in the process first, and we discover that together. What about raw versus cooked, which would be especially challenging in winter where one needs warm foods? Ideally, all of these beautiful fruits and vegetables have the highest intensity of nutrients when they're raw. As soon as you start to add heat to any of them, they start to lose nutrients. But that doesn't mean that you have to be all raw. On the contrary, actually in winter, when you need warm foods, you need to honor that. The body gives you the signal for you need warmer foods in winter. It also gives you the signal that you need cooling foods in the summer, and you need to follow that. So there's nothing, just because the nutrients decrease a little bit when you cook the food doesn't mean that they're not good for you anymore. And in the program, we do a mix. So we do a mix, like even currently right now in summer, it's a mix of cooked and raw fruits and vegetables. It's not just raw. What about, she also says, what about medications during the detox? I suffer from migraines. Sometimes they are mild and I can survive in quietness and peppermint oil, but other times they're unbearable that I need to take the medicine. So we look at the root cause of why you're getting the migraines to start with. So the goal here is to eliminate the migraines. But while you're in the process to eliminate the migraines and you're doing the detox, what I always recommend for everybody is that if there is a medication that they're taking that is prescription grade, you never mess with that, right? So something that your doctor has actually prescribed, you need to take it. If there's anything that's over the counter, Panadol, Tylenol, acid reflux medication, whatever it is, we remove all of those because those are added sources of inflammation on the body. When you have something like a migraine, and I've seen this with many, many, many clients, you will go through the healing crisis of a migraine where they will get worse while you're doing your detox, and then they get better. We're not here to torture you. So while you're going through your healing crisis, the body is cleansing, the body's getting to the root cause of why you have migraines, clearing that root cause so that eventually you're migraine free. So obviously during that, you'll have to gauge yourself. And if you need the pain medication, then you need the pain medication because we know that it's just going to be downhill from there. So yes, obviously. Or some of you will get, their period cramps will get really, really, really bad before they get better. Yes, we're not here to torture you. If you need a little bit of pain medication, or if you try the natural remedies I give you and they're not enough, then you take your pain medication. But you're going to see that as you continue through the process, you're going to need the medication less and less and less. What about homeopathy? Does it trigger an insulin response? No, it does not, to my knowledge. No, it does not. Homeopathy are natural remedies. They do not. She says, I love all veggies, really don't like fruits, but will eat them and have an intolerance to nightshades. So from the beginning, I feel limited, but since I started this course, I started eating watermelon, so there's hope. I would need to understand a little bit more what it looks like when you have an intolerance. Are you actually having a physical reaction? Or is it because you did a test and the test told you that you're intolerant to nightshades? So let me know. We can continue that conversation. Next, Yumna wants to know, is coffee harmful in the absolute? How about Turkish coffee? They are natural beans toasted moderately. It's not harmful in the absolute, but the way that we drink it, which is first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, maybe with milk, maybe with sugar, maybe when you have 2 or 3 or 4 cups a day, yes, then it's definitely harmful. So, and it's an external stimulant. You don't know what your real energy is like as long as you're drinking coffee. You have no way to gauge at what level your body's at when it comes to internally sourcing energy. So the coffee has to go for 1 month. We remove it for 1 month during the detox, and then you can bring it back in. And like you said, you bring in natural beans. So Turkish coffee is great. It's very, very natural. Natural beans that you toast, roast, and make at home are perfect. What you want to stay away from are anything from Nescafe. So all the processed coffee, Nescafe Gold, blah, 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 blah. The machines, all of that is highly processed coffee. You want beans that you roast at home. You want Turkish coffee. You want to go to a reputable coffee house where you see them also roasting and brewing their own beans. That coffee is okay. And then it's not first thing in the morning. So in the program, I teach you when is the best time to have your coffee. So it's not an all or nothing, but here's the thing. When you remove it, again, part of the process, and you bring it back in after a month, you might be surprised. I've had women decide that, oh God, I really don't like coffee after all. Oh, it doesn't really make me feel good after all. Oh wow, I had it and it gives me palpitations. So you just keep yourself open to the process. Do I have to cut off everything together, or can I take it out one by one? It has to be everything together, because you're not going to be able to see the results. If you, let's say, remove wheat but keep dairy, and you still feel bloated and you still feel tired, or you remove the dairy but keep the wheat, like, you're always going to have some kind of symptom. The only way for you to be symptom free is to remove all the sources. It has to be cold turkey. Moderation doesn't work when we're talking healing. All right, Yumna, let me know if you have any other, and also anybody else whose questions I've answered. If you're complete with your questions, let me know. If you need follow-up, please also let me know. So Yumna, you too. Fatma wants to know, here is my question for Saturday. She says, I am 41 years old, married, with 3 teenagers, with no chronic disease, alhamdulillah, except for severe migraine, which, by the way, is a chronic condition. So anything that you have that's ongoing, that falls under the heading of chronic disease. It doesn't have to be diabetes or hypertension. If you have something that you suffer from on a regular basis, if you have regular, heavy, painful periods every month, that's a chronic condition. So you have severe migraines, that's a chronic condition. So she has them for 20 years. It used to hit me monthly and sometimes twice a month until the past 2 years when I started to take magnesium daily. Okay. What I'm suffering from the past 2 years, 1 is vertigo every once in a while. All of a sudden, everything spins. And 2, hearing my heartbeat in my right ear daily, nonstop since February 2019. The only difference is the severity. Some days is too bad and other days the pressure is less. I did all the tests, the x-rays, the CT scan, all is normal. So the doctor decided it's stress. I don't know anymore if it's stress. Is it the food I'm eating? Any other serious issues? I wish I can end this suffering, or at least to know what the hell is going on. Without knowing more about you, Fatma, I'm going to say Epstein-Barr. Probably the one thing you haven't tested for is Epstein-Barr. I would go and test for that. And then send me a private message. Send me a private message so I can send you the name of the test that you need to do. But this is typical, especially vertigo and the heartbeat. Everything spins. And migraine. This is very, very typical Epstein-Barr. Iman Nabil Ali. She wants to know, will you give us guidance on how to eat enough protein from non-inflammatory foods after the detox? Absolutely. So I'm going to also show you how to eat animal protein. Like, we don't go vegan, we don't go vegetarian unless you want to. That's completely up to you. I will show you the process of reintroducing animal protein and what the ratio is that will work for you. And you take it from there, you try it out, you come back and tell me, right, this works really well. Actually, no, this is not working really well. But yes, I do walk you through that whole process. Sally, how to protect your waist from the invasion of the menopause belly fat. Okay. So the invasion, yeah, it does feel like an invasion. So remove all the inflammatory foods, number 1, because all of the inflammatory foods trigger your body to release cortisol and continuously release cortisol. So coffee is going to trigger cortisol. Wheat is going to trigger cortisol. Cheese, junk food, sodas, alcohol, junk, all of the foods I talked about are stress triggers, internal stress triggers for the body. So every time you eat them, your body's going to release cortisol. Plus, then you have the external stress triggers. Those take longer. It takes a lot longer for you to learn how to cope with your external stress triggers, like difficult relationships, the work dynamics, pressures from your life. Those take longer. You can literally decrease your internal stress triggers like that. In 2 weeks, you can be done with those, and then that'll bolster your physical self, so you can start to look at the external stress triggers. So join the program. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Nihel Ragai, info on the types of good fats that are appropriate to eat. We haven't talked about those. So we do incorporate the good fats in the program. So almond milk, coconut milk, avocados, nuts, tahina, those are the good fats. And you do put in, you do bring back in animal protein. So there are a little bit of those fats. The main ones that we remove and keep out are any dairy fats, so ghee, butter, things like that. Obviously, the vegetable oils, which are highly, highly inflammatory. But we do bring in the good fats, the main ones. And your next question was, any good books or resources that we can read to learn more? So my teachers at nutrition school were Mark Hyman, Dr. Mercola. Read up on Dr. Morse. He's amazing. I would also read up on what's her name? I can't remember her name for hormonal health. There's Sarah Gottfried, there's Alisa Vitti, there's Medical Medium, those are the main ones I can think off the top of my head right there. Dina Benna, she wants to know, what about cellulite and spider veins? So those are both signs that you have a clogged liver. Cellulite is nothing more than the fat. Remember, we talked about the clusters of fat that when you have raised blood sugar levels and insulin can't move sugar from your blood into your cells, it takes that sugar and stuffs it in your fat cells. That's how you end up with cellulite, when there's also not enough circulation. So if your lymphatic system, which is your body's garbage disposal system, is not working properly, you're going to see cellulite. Same thing with spider veins. Those are a direct result of a really weak and tired liver, which is a result of eating the inflammatory foods that we talked about. So once you start to remove those, once you start moving, getting your lymphatic system moving, because our lymphatic system is actually, most of the fluid in our body is our lymphatic system, but it needs you to move in order for it to move. So you need to work out, you need to do something like mini trampoline is great for moving the lymphatic system and getting rid of cellulite. And then hydration obviously is key, and removing the inflammatory foods. Ingrid says, I'm curious about the effect of fructose in our bodies. I've heard it can be as bad as sugar. No, this is the biggest myth in the world, unless you're talking about fructose from high fructose corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup is incredibly inflammatory, even carcinogenic. And you find that on the label of almost every packaged processed food. Look for high fructose corn syrup. You stay away from that. But the fructose from fruit, this is the fructose that our body uses for energy. You can't function and focus and have energy if you don't have this fructose that comes from natural fruits. It is literally fuel for your body. If you don't have energy, I'm going to look at you the way that you're eating, and you're not going to be eating enough fruits. If you've got brain fog, our brain needs the glucose and the fructose from fruits in order to think clearly. If I look at your diet, I'm going to see not enough fruits. It's why when you go on a high protein, high fat plan, you crave so much sugar, because you're literally craving something that's so essential. Your body's really good at giving you signals. So it is the most important food that you eat. People are not, the health crisis that we're in today is a direct result of people not eating enough fructose and not eating enough of the healing foods. You're not getting sick because you eat 3 kilos of mangoes every day. People are getting sick because they're not eating 3 kilos of mangoes every day. You can't heal without fruits, and fruits are full of fructose. What else? Lamia. I just don't know how to eat enough protein, but not animal protein. Lots of times I feel like I don't want to eat any animal proteins, but I have to because there's no other choice. And the healthy alternatives in the market are really expensive. You can't cope with it and be consistent. Okay, and also how to resist, okay, that's a different question. So here's the thing with animal protein. If you don't want to eat animal protein, it doesn't mean that the alternative has to be all the expensive vegan substitutions, right? And actually all the vegan substitutions you see in the market are not good for you. So all the things made with soy, like the soy cheese or the Beyond Burger, like all that fake meat, stay away from that. If you don't want to eat animal protein anymore, you can start to slowly experiment again, because not everybody reacts to these the same way. Lentils, some beans, some of the legumes. And believe it or not, there are a lot of vegetables that are full of protein. Mushrooms are full of protein. Potatoes are full of protein. Broccoli is full of protein. So you can fill up on those and start to feel a big difference without having to go and spend money on basically expensive and very useless substitutions. We don't need these fake meat substitutions. Either go and eat the real thing or eat a source of plant protein, or which is either some of the lentils, some of the beans, or have an actual vegetable source of protein. She says, how to resist the home traditions. My family are the big problem if I want to change my eating lifestyle. So was it yesterday that we talked about family being really non-supportive, and not because it's their fault, right? They're not going to understand what you're doing. They will not support. I mean, start with that as your default setting, that your family will not support. All of you who decide to take this step, whether you're living at home, Lamia, I believe you're living at home, whether you are married and living with your husband and kids and you have to go visit your mother once a week, nobody's going to support you. Very, very few of you are going to find support. So, which means you're going to have to find support somewhere else, which is going to be within our community. And it means that you can't let somebody else's insecurity, because that's what it is. They're going to be watching you make a change that they can't make yet, or they might not ever make. And they're going to try and get you to stay where they're comfortable, because you changing scares them, because you might become somebody they're not used to. They don't know what's going to happen to you when you change. So nobody can make this decision for you except you. You need to hold your ground. I know it's easier said than done, but that's how it is. They're going to try. They're going to try and get you to break whatever new routine you're trying. And you just have to remind yourself over and over and over again that it's not about you. It's about their own insecurity. They don't want you to make a change because you're reminding them that they're not making a change. And the only way for you to move forward, because they're not going to come and tell you, oh, amazing, this is amazing, keep doing this, we're going to support you. I really wish everybody would, but they don't. So it's 100% your responsibility to stand your ground and do this and find support elsewhere. Last thing, she says, I'm 26. Is the hormone detox is suitable for me because I kind of feel like the talk mostly for perimenopause and menopause? Yes. So we had a previous conversation before, Lamia, and you have symptoms that are clearly a direct result of how you're eating. And as I mentioned in one of my classes, I see the same symptoms in women outside of the age ranges. And even if you are outside of the age ranges and you obviously don't have perimenopause or menopause, everybody needs to eat this way, because it's preventative, so that you don't go through these issues, right? You need to start creating a different foundation of health for your body. Those of you who have maybe young women who are, daughters who are young women in their 20s, you have teenagers, you have kids, you need to get everybody at some point. You start with yourself first. Everybody eating this way, because this is the way that you prevent disease later on. Adult onset disease, whatever it is, whether it's a chronic condition, whether it's a medically diagnosed condition, didn't just pop up the day that it was diagnosed. And it didn't just start to creep up a few years before it was diagnosed. Adult onset conditions have their roots in childhood. So whatever it is you're starting to feel now, Lamia, if it goes unattended, if you ignore it, if you don't change how you're eating, by the time you do get to perimenopause and menopause, you're going to have all the issues that we're talking about now. So save yourself the trouble. You have a golden opportunity to create a completely different foundation for yourself. All right, let me just see. Make sure I haven't missed. I know I have one more question. No, that's done. That's done. Fatima's done. Okay. Last question is, okay, before I go to this last question, let me just see if you guys have any questions or comments. Noha, is decaffeinated tea okay? How about green tea? Green tea, Noha. I said no because it's caffeine. Decaffeinated is okay. It's all right. Zainab, I am past menopause. Am I in the right group? If you have any of the symptoms I've been talking about, Zainab, then yes. If you're eating any of the foods that I've been talking about, then yes. Isra, what about surgery menopaused? Same thing. So this is basically it was just forced on you. So instead of it happening naturally, it happens surgically. The result is the same. So yes. Noha, if we are to avoid dairy, how can we have good bacteria probiotics in our tummy without yogurt? You already have good probiotics in your tummy without yogurt. They already exist. So it's a matter of giving them the right foods. There's something called prebiotics, which are foods that feed the good probiotics in your body. We talk about that in the program. So we've been living, before dairy was introduced, not very long ago, only like 100, 150 years ago, we've been living very well without any kind of yogurt providing us with the healthy bacteria. Iman, what can I drink in the morning instead of tea or coffee? Keep listening, Iman. Tomorrow, I'm giving you the meal plan. I'm telling you exactly what you're going to do. Noha, brands of trusted raw honey, please. There's Melak's honey. These are all on Facebook. Melak's honey. There's Sada's Organic Foods. She makes really great honey. Gourmet makes a really good raw honey. Those are the three that I love the most. Can detox help with H. pylori? Of course, absolutely. It's absolutely necessary with H. pylori. H. pylori also has, we're looking possibly at an underlying Epstein-Barr with that. Sara Abdelaziz, is the gluten-free diet is the best diet for Hashimoto? It is not, well, going gluten-free is part of what you have to do for Hashimoto. It's not the only thing you do. So we have to remove gluten. We have to remove dairy. You also have to remove all the other sources of processed foods. That's exactly what we do in the program. I'm going to show you how. Zainab, is kimchi okay? Yes. So to answer the probiotics question, thank you for reminding me, Zainab, I was going to say, so you have other sources of probiotics. You have all the fermented foods like kimchi, like mekhallilat, like pickles. All of those are food sources of probiotics that are not inflammatory. Given, of course, they're made properly and not made with all the bad salts, but made with sea salt, you've got a really, really great source of probiotics right there. Dana, you mentioned that your family is following your diet. How long did it take until your husband and kids were okay with that? Okay, how much time do we have? It took a while. It took my husband, I want to say 3-4 years. He definitely did not do anything at the beginning. Like at the beginning, he thought I was a total lunatic. That's why I'm talking from experience. I know nobody's going to support you. It was not only that, he was the complete opposite. He was an extreme. He was like, I'm eating, my greens and my salads, and he's ordering McDonald's every day. So it was a massive extreme for him. He finally made a switch. And maybe I'll bring him in and talk to you guys. He finally made a switch. And what most people do is when his health was suffering. And for him, believe it or not, it was a back condition that left him literally flat in bed for months at a time. He couldn't go to work. He couldn't move. He couldn't do anything. And then eventually he couldn't even sleep on the bed. He had to sleep on the floor. And he went to every single doctor in Egypt. He went to every single doctor abroad, and he got the same diagnosis. It was a disc, but it was just right. Just take this medicine for life. Basically, they gave him like an anti-inflammatory, antihistaminic, whatever it is, because he wasn't bad enough where he needed surgery yet. And so they just told him, take this basically anti-inflammatory for life. And it would work and then not work and work and then not work. And then all the time I'm like, you might want to reconsider what you're eating, because everything you're eating is really not helping. Of course, he wouldn't listen to me. But as wives, we nag. I mean, we're really good at that. So I kept nagging. And then finally, I think because combination of he was in so much pain and he was so fed up, and he had no other option. He had like used up all his solutions. He was like, fine, let me try this stupid eating thing of yours. And he did, and it worked. And all his pains went away. And since then, he has been following more or less. He has more frequent up and downs than I do, but he understands it, he believes in it, and he follows it. So that's what it took for him. So I don't know if that hadn't happened. I don't know how long it would have taken. With my kids, My son was 3 when I first became a health coach, so it was super easy. He didn't know any better. I started him on green juices when he was 3. I took out dairy, I took out cheeses, I took out the junk, I took out everything. Now that he's a teenager, because he's a teenager anyway, things are a little bit more challenging. So he will eat junk when he's out with his friends and things, but at home, he eats a ton of fruits. Like actually during Ramadan, every day he would actually ask for watermelon, al-fatar. That's what he wanted. And he makes his own smoothies and he eats super healthy. He has his off days with his friends, which is perfectly normal. My 2 daughters, right now they're almost 25 and 23. So when I started, they were teenagers. They were very challenging because just teenagers are challenging. They fought it. I would keep things away and we'd eat in a healthy way, but they weren't happy with it. And so every once in a while, I'd bring something in, we'd gradually remove things. Weekends were like, right, eat whatever you want. And then that's why I'm saying you have to lead by example. By the time they both got to college level, all right, where they were they both went and lived on their own. And I couldn't believe when I took my eldest to college and we were, getting her settled in her room. We went to the supermarket and I wasn't going to say anything about how she's going to shop, because they have a fridge and she was going to fill it up. And she went and she bought all the healthy stuff, everything. Even though she'd fought me about it and she thought it was like, nobody eats this way and none of my friends eat this way. We'd have these arguments over and over and over again. But just because when they're teenagers, that's just what they do. They argue about anything, right? Like regardless. So it took them a few years. And then right now they both eat this way. My eldest now, she's also actually a health coach also. And my second daughter, all her friends come to her for advice. So just be patient is all I can say. Be patient. But at home, we don't have bread. We don't have cheese. We don't have junk. We don't have any milk. We don't have any of the stuff that we talk about. We eat every day. We all have smoothies. We all have celery juice. My son likes to make his own smoothie. He's the one I think who him and my husband eat the most protein because they're guys and it's a little bit different. So they either meat or chicken every single day, lots of vegetables, lots of salads. We have nuts for snacks. Like I said, my son on the weekends will literally eat anything with his friends, pizza, junk, burgers, you name it. But the rest of the week is super clean, so it's okay. What is the substitute for cheese? Mahiteb. You don't actually need a substitute for cheese, right? So when we remove dairy, it's because it's inflammatory. So when you remove something inflammatory, you don't need to have a replacement for it. You might want to have something similar. So if you are going to replace it, definitely don't replace it with any soy products. So I see a lot of things coming onto the market now. And if you live abroad, there's a lot of fake cheese. Stay away from it. If you do want a cheese substitute, make sure it's nut-based. So something made from cashews typically is the best kind of dairy-free cheese. So it's like a cashew cream cheese, something like that. Those are your best substitutes. In Cairo, you can find them at Kaju, Kaju. She's on Instagram and on Facebook. She makes a really good cashew nut cheese. No, I suffer from estrogen deficiency. I've been struggling to balance, but no progress. So again, this is what we do in the program. We look at you very specifically in that module 2, when we track module 1, when we look at the symptoms in detail, we track that along with other symptoms and we help balance it. It's the same thing. Whether it's you are excess estrogen or estrogen deficient, it's back to nutrition. So the root cause is always the same for everybody. It's just how the little symptoms show up that's different. All right. Okay, one more question, which is Noha wants to know, Noha Abdurraouf also wants to know how to enhance the immune system during the pandemic. She says, I regularly take osteocare, vitamin C, vitamin D, V drops. All right, ladies, great question. And bear with me while I answer it for you because this is a kind of a long answer. So your immune system, most people don't know this. Your immune system, around 80 to 90% of your immune system is located inside your gut, inside your digestive system, right there. We're right here, inside your digestive system. So everything you eat determines to what extent your immune system is going to be strong or not strong. And here's what we mean about whether it's strong or not strong. And we talk about boosting your immune system. I want you to visualize for a moment here, your immune system is sort of like your body's defense army, okay? And imagine your stomach. It's inside the tissues of your stomach, the tissue lining. It's inside the lining of your intestinal tissues. It's all over. But just for ease of explanation, let's imagine your immune system is sort of like an army that forms a circle in your stomach. That's not really how it is, but we're just going to imagine it that way. It's like an army of soldiers that forms a circle. Your immune system, since the day that you were conceived, is programmed to protect you from any potential danger that either enters your body or any internal danger that any kind of, and when any system breaks down inside your body. So it's to protect you from the outside and the inside. So it's programmed without you even knowing it or paying attention. It's programmed to protect you from all viruses, all pathogens, all bacteria. It clears out all of your tired cells, because your cells are continuously regenerating, right? So the ones that get tired and die off, your immune system is in charge of getting rid of them. We all have sick cells. Your immune system is in charge of getting rid of them. We also have, all of us have some kind of cancer cells, because cancer cells are just really, 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 really tired and sick cells. The immune system gets rid of them. So it's constantly working. But like I said, it's trained to fight any potential danger entering your body, which means any potential threats from inflammatory foods also. When there's an inflammatory food coming into your body, alcohol, caffeine, the inflammatory foods, the dairy, the processed sugar, the processed oils, the immune system is also trained to protect you from those. So in regular times, let's say pre-COVID times, right? We weren't worried about a virus. We weren't worried about, something in the air. Most of us are just living our lives very, very normally. And the immune system is working for you very, very strongly. But here's what happens and that you're not aware of. So imagine that your soldiers are all lined up in a nice tight circle inside your digestive system. And then you wake up in the morning and you have your coffee on an empty stomach. And your immune system is well trained. You're like, oh, here it is, the morning coffee. I need to go help, make sure that the effects of this don't get to her today. So one of your soldiers in this very tight circle of soldiers leaves his post to go deal with the coffee that you just had. No problem. One soldier has left his post. There's a little gap in your immune system, so manageable. But then you go and have a melted cheese sandwich, or you go and have, cereal with milk, or you go and have a cookie. Whatever it is you're having for breakfast that's inflammatory. Then the immune system is like, oh, here comes a little bit more that we have to deal with. So maybe two more soldiers are going to leave their spot. They're going to go deal with the cheese, the melted cheese, the croissant, the milk, the whatever it is you're eating. Still not too bad. You still have kind of a full circle. There's only 3 spots now. There's only a little gap. So then you go to work and you sit down in your office and you have another coffee. I'm like, oh, okay, here's another coffee. Well, what is she doing? Why is she having another one? That's not good. Another immune soldier is going to go off and deal with that coffee. Then somebody in your office decides to order takeout. They order pizza, or they order a burger, or they order junk, or you go and have coffee with your friends. You have another coffee and you have cake. Okay, here's more sugar. Here's more caffeine. Well, that's not really good. This is going to, weaken her liver. This is going to raise insulin. Let's go and deal with this. So then another soldier leaves his post and goes to deal with that. Then you come home and you make macarona bechamel for your kids and for yourself and pani, and you eat that. Few more soldiers leave their post and go take care of it. So that's not too bad when we're not really worried about other issues, when there isn't, a virus around. Except here's the thing, ladies, there are viruses around us all the time. Pre-COVID, you are walking around at any given point in time, you are walking around and you are exposed to thousands of viruses every single day that your immune system is taking care of, despite the fact that it's busy taking care of all these other things. So imagine to what extent you are regularly taking things in that are basically taking your immune system's attention away from where it should be. And if you have any chronic condition, so let's say you have migraines, let's say you have an autoimmune, you already have diabetes or PCOS or insulin resistance, your immune system is already working to help as much as possible support you while you have this condition. If you don't have any of these conditions, as women, every single month, our immunity gets distracted a little bit because the body's really smart. It's like, right, where does the body need the most support now? She's menstruating, all systems go and support the reproductive system now. So you're going to find that your immune soldiers are going to go and take care of something else once a month, even if you have no other symptoms. So then you come into a time when there's a virus that seems to be attacking everybody. If your immune soldiers are, 3 of them are gone every morning to deal with breakfast. Let's say you have 10 soldiers. 3 of them go to deal with your lunch. 3 of them go to deal with your dinner. Do you see how your immunity wall is completely exposed? Anything can enter. Anything. Small virus, small bacteria, COVID. That's the difference between somebody who has a strong immune system and a weak immune system. A strong immune system basically just means you have an immune system that's focused. Its attention is not scattered everywhere, dealing with coffee and wheat and sugar and dairy and junk food and stress and an autoimmune. It means it's solid. It means nothing can penetrate it. Does that make sense, ladies? So taking vitamin C is great, but it's not going to help on its own. Taking vitamin D is great, but it's not going to help on its own. If you want to get yourself to a place where your immune system is solid, where nothing can penetrate it, or even if it does penetrate it, your immune system is going to take care of it very quickly, you have to remove the distractions. Your immune system can't be busy dealing with coffee and milk and sugar and cheese and junk and processed oil every single day. And this is why we see this incredible rate of illness. It's not that everybody's doing something, it's not that it's not random. They have done, now that it's been over a year of COVID, 95% of hospitalizations in the US, I'm going to use US figures because they're just the easiest to access, 95% of COVID hospitalizations were in those who were obese or had diabetes. So if you don't have diabetes or any inflammation or pre-diabetes or any kind of insulin resistance or any kind of elevated inflammation from these foods, you're not going to get it. Or if you get it, it's going to be really easy. You're not going to suffer. Unfortunately, nobody's getting this message across. And even more unfortunate is the message that if you get the vaccine, then you're good to go. Well, here's the thing. If you take the vaccine, there's a mechanism in vaccines that needs to be triggered so that if the virus attacks you, then the vaccine has a mechanism that has to be triggered to save you. Basically, that mechanism in the vaccines doesn't work as efficiently in a body that is full of inflammation. So you want to boost your immunity. You want to make sure that you don't get it, or if you get it, it's super mild. It's not about adding in, yes, you need to add in vitamin C, you need to add in zinc, very, very important. But those won't work on their own if your immune system is every single day, every single minute, busy fighting another front completely. Bring all your immune soldiers back. Solidify it. And I see this with myself and I see this with my clients, outside of pandemic days. I used to get the flu, regular flu, at least 3 times a year. Clockwork. I haven't gotten sick in 10 years. And all of my clients get sick regularly, regular cold, regular flu, regular cold, regular flu. They stop getting sick. Or it comes really, really mild. So it's within your hands. Don't let anybody convince you that everybody's going to get sick, and it's completely random, and we don't know who's going to get it next. No, we know exactly who's going to get it next. Anybody who's obese or overweight, anybody who has diabetes, pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, anybody who's got any level of inflammation in their body from eating these foods. So you want to protect yourself, whether you take the vaccine or not, whether you wear the mask or not. This is what you need to do. Because when you think about it, everybody who's gotten COVID, and my father got it and my sister got it. They were doing everything right. Everything. Masks, disinfecting 17 times a day, you name it. But my father is 80 years old. He has diabetes. He is hypertensive, and he had a what do you call them? Bypass 10 years ago. Like, he literally ticked all the boxes. Of course he was going to get it. My sister, not really healthy. We're talking about being metabolically healthy in order for you not to get sick. And do you know how many people, what percentage of people in the world is metabolically healthy where they're not going to get sick? Or if they get sick, it's going to be super mild? Between 8 and 12% of the whole world are metabolically healthy. So it's not random. The rest of the world is eating and drinking and living in a way that literally is like, oh, you're just like the perfect host. We are creating the perfect hostess for a virus, because viruses love these conditions. So you want to become a very inhospitable host is what you need to do. It's not scary, ladies. I'm not telling you this to scare you. This is to empower you. Instead of feeling like you don't know what to do and there's nothing to do and it's just constant fear and constant doom and gloom, go and take control of your health and boost your immunity. Get your immune soldiers lined up, and God willing, when and if it happens, it'll be super mild, or it won't happen at all. But don't fall into the false security that getting a vaccine or wearing a mask is going to protect you. The only reason people get sick is not because they didn't wear a mask, and it's not because they were around somebody who wasn't wearing a mask. It's not because they didn't get the vaccine. It's not because they were around somebody who didn't get the vaccine. The only reason somebody gets sick is because they have an immune system that was unable to fight off the infection. That's the only way that people get sick. It's not somebody else's responsibility to protect you. It's not your responsibility to protect others. Everybody has a God-given immune system. Everybody needs to strengthen and fortify their own immune system. And when you do that, you naturally protect others. When you naturally become strong internally and your immune system is doing what it needs to do, you won't get sick. So if you don't get sick, then others won't get sick. So this is the only way to empower yourself. And unfortunately, this is not information that's shared everywhere. The only information that is being shared is fear mongering. There's only one solution, shaming people, blaming people, instead of telling you that each one of you has your personal responsibility is to take care of your own health so that you don't get sick. I mean, I think the biggest farce, I don't know how many of you follow sort of what's happening in the world around vaccines, but in the US now, to incentivize people to get the vaccine, and this is, I mean, it's so funny, it's so sad and funny at the same time. To incentivize people to get the vaccine, they're incentivizing them with marijuana, free donuts, free beer. What was the other one? Donuts, beer, marijuana, burgers, McDonald's. So you have to wonder, like, how is this about health? How is this about empowering people when they're telling you here, go and have a free burger, go and have a free donut for the rest of your life, even though we know that 95% of the people hospitalized for COVID were hospitalized because of diabetes and obesity. And yet, go and have the burgers and go and have the donuts. So you need to start thinking about this differently. You're the only one who can protect yourself. It is as much as you want to. You cannot protect anybody else if they're not protecting and enforcing and fortifying their own immunity. You want to protect those around you? Stop eating bread, stop eating cheese, stop drinking, stop eating junk, start exercising every single day. That's how you're going to get your immunity wall strengthened and strong. And this is how not only you're going to protect yourself from COVID, but then you're going to reverse all the other things as well. So it's a win-win either way. All right, ladies, I think that was the last question. Let me check. Dun, dun, dun. That was it, Fatima. Yumna. That was it. That was the last one. Any other questions for me, ladies? Alia, I just emailed you a question. Is it okay? Do you need me to answer this for you here? Alia, let me check. I don't, did you or did you not actually email me the question, Alia? Or do you want to ask it here? Let me know. Let me know, ladies. Any other questions? So here's what you need to do. There's the link up here. I put it for the class. And you have to sign. If you still haven't signed up for the class, ladies, please sign up. If you're just joining us today or you've been watching and you're not sure, I need you to sign up for the class. Like, actually click the link up here that says Hormone Reset Online Class. Click on that link, because on Tuesday, we have our bonus class, which is how to overcome emotional eating. And this is so key. It's the missing piece when it comes to the whole puzzle of how do we finally eat to heal. You need to know how your emotions factor in. And that class is not going to be in this group. That class is going to be on a separate Zoom call. And I'm going to send the link for that Zoom call on Tuesday morning in an email. So if you're not on the email list, you're not going to get that link. The other thing is, sign up for the program. That's the other thing. Sign up for the program. We start June 6th, ladies. If you want to, now that we're talking about immunity, maybe your hormones, maybe you're like, that's not such a big concern for me. If your immunity is a big concern for you, if you're scared about getting sick, if you're scared for your kids, if you're scared for your husband, if you really want to take personal responsibility, this is the only way to do it. Don't listen to any of the noise around you. Your only personal responsibility is to boost your own immune system. And the only way to boost your immune system is to remove all the other distractions around it. So sign up for the program. We start June 6th. You heard me talk about the modules. We also have a closed Facebook group for all the ladies. I do a live video once a week. I'm in there answering questions every single day, and we have a lot of fun. And I just posted, one of the ladies just posted literally a few hours ago, her success at the detox. If you haven't seen that post, scroll down and see it. You have a decision to make, ladies. You have a decision. It's 100% up to you which direction you want to take. You can either stay where you are, and you know what's going to happen. It's hard as hell staying where you are. It's so hard to wake up every day with no energy and with aches and pains and not being able to function and not being able to have your body keep up with what your brain wants to do, what your heart wants you to do every single day. That is really hard. And if you're in your 40s, God willing, you have at least another 40 years to live. Do you want to stay like this? Knowing that the only option, if you decide to stay like this, is just a very gradual decline. Aging is optional. All the symptoms you have are optional. All the chronic conditions you have are optional. You decide to take door number 2, go down the other. It's hard, take the other hard option, but it's only hard for a little bit. It's not a lifetime of hardship like the first choice. It's a little bit. It's literally 10 days, 2 weeks, at the end of which you're going to start to feel better. Your energy is going to come back. Your aches and pains are going to go away. Your cravings are going to go away. Your brain fog is going to disappear. And if you have autoimmune or chronic conditions, they will take longer. I'm not going to lie to you. Healing is a process. But imagine if we start June 6th, like by the end of July, imagine yourself by the end of July, you are the dream version of you, or you're getting close to the dream version of you. Why wouldn't you make that choice? Click the link and join us, ladies. We start June 6th. I think I saw another question. Sada, what is the difference between the 2 levels of the hormone reset? So the 2 levels is, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the video, Sada, if you didn't go back, because I talk about the difference. There's a process to this. Like, I can't walk you through stress management and learning how to take care of yourself and self-love and boosting, your sex drive before we create the food foundation. before we understand mindset, before you learn the techniques and the tools to be able to master your mindset. So we do a lot of that in the first level, plus the first level of nutrition. Second level, we take the nutrition to another level by adding in the supplements, adding in the herbs, adding in the essential oils, doing an advanced liver cleanse, talking then about your relationships, and then we move on to level 3, which has nothing to do with nutrition at all. It's all about raising your level of consciousness. So you have to go through the steps. You can't start at level 2. You obviously can't start at level 3. You need to go through level 1, then level 2, then level 3. The difference is the topics that are covered. The difference is you, because when you get to level 2, you're not the same person who was in level 1. So the coaching differs. So the way that I show up in the how I coach the group is different. Level 2 is also a little bit different in that you all get to have one-on-one coaching with me. So in level 1, it's all group coaching is done inside the group. But in level 2, each one of the ladies who's in level 2 also gets one-on-one time with me. And then in level 3, obviously, you get monthly one-on-one time with me in addition to the group. So it takes you through a progression. That's what it is. That's the main difference. It takes you through a progression. Anybody else have a question or comment for me? Go click and join the class if you haven't already, because the bonus class is coming up. Tomorrow I'm giving you the meal plan, the super basic meal plan that you can start tomorrow if you want to get you on the right track. The meal plan, though, is just that. It's just a meal plan. In order to get the massive transformation, you need to completely immerse yourself in the repetition and get the coaching and get the guidance and get the supports and get the different levels and get the progression. That only happens in the program. So the program starts June 6th. That's in a week. It's $497 if you pay in full, $298 if you want to make 2 payments, or you can make 4 payments of $150. If you need a different payment plan, a slower payment plan, email me and we can set that up for you too. All right, ladies, thank you again for being with me. Today's day 7. We just have 2 days left of the class, and then we have the bonus class on Tuesday. Thank you so much to all of you who have been here since day 1. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place, ladies. You're all going to be here tomorrow, I know, for the meal plan. All right. Take care, ladies. Good night.